and slaves. Come with us and you will see this our town of Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
Hey guys, Underground Geek here. So I hope you like a new intro. I just want to let you know that I'm going to be doing horror themed comics this month. So get ready for that. And so let's talk about the real subject of the video here. So there has been a recent chain of events that's happened on social media where our friend Diversity in Comics keeps getting flagged for videos, and it happened all of a sudden. You know, they wrote a story about him, and the guy, you know, they keep unorganically inserting his name into the stories just to get clicks. You know, that's what it's all about, just to try to get clicks. And so DNC did a clapback video, very light clapback video. He was a little heated there, here and there, but he did a little clapback video. And then immediately it got reported and taken off of YouTube. Okay? Now, if you don't know the rules about YouTube, when they do that, you get 3 strikes and you're out. Like, that's all you get. 3 times and you're gone. So he didn't know, but Captain Cummings let him know the situation, but he had already deleted the video, so now there's nothing he could do. So then another video gets flagged within just a couple of days. And this time I think he's going to dispute it. But it's no coincidence that all of a sudden this happens. Well, he's went back and forth with Bleeding Cool's Rich Johnston. And Rich keeps trying to tell him that it's nobody that he knows that's doing it. But then Joe Glass at Bleeding Cool messes up and puts on Twitter that he is trying to report videos on YouTube, and YouTube's violation policy is too soft. Okay? That's pretty much the effect of what he says. So in doing that, he immediately tells himself, because it's no coincidence that all of a sudden you say this and DNC's videos are getting flagged. You know what I mean? Now, if you don't know who Joe Glass is, he's a writer for Bleeding Cool, if you can call him that. He has on his Twitter, writer of The Pride and also co-writer in Stiffs, writer for Bleeding Cool, my views are my own, advocate for LBGT, blah, 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 who cares. But he has on there, writer for Bleeding Cool. So this is a business account. This is not a personal account. You can't put your job on there and use their name on your Twitter, because all you're trying to do is get followers. Okay? Now, regardless to say he doesn't have many followers, but when you have a picture like that where you look like a goober, I mean, I don't really expect you to get too many. So anyway, he goes on Twitter. He puts that on there. Now, Jude Terror he's also a writer for a reporter, if you could call him that, for Bleeding Cool. He already has most of everybody blocked because he said that basically the fans are hateful people and got a clapback for it. So, you know, his defense is to just block everybody and shut everybody out. But then, shortly after Joe Glass gets caught, Jude Terror not only blocks people, but then makes his Twitter tweets protected, where you can't even see them unless he follows you. That is not a coincidence. So, anyway, Joe Glass puts on there, you know, hey, I just tried to follow your procedure to report a user who routinely harasses others and was asked to have the victim report it. Do you think that's because maybe it's bullcrap and they're trying to make it harder for people like you to just go down there and ruin people's YouTube channels? Maybe that's what it is. So he keeps going. He says, moreover, you don't seem to have a way to report an account that a user is using to report videos from an account you've already suspended. I've tried to follow your procedure to report a user who routinely harasses others and was asked to tell the victim to report it. Sorry, guys. It's a very, very busy day today. Anyway, so he says that. Then he says, the very first initial tweet, he says, bloody heck, YouTube makes it really hard to report users for harassment and abuse of their own guidelines. Not helpful to victims at all. You're not a victim. How are you a victim? Please state the video where you are a victim there. What it is you don't like somebody critiquing comics because that's your job, and you're trying to get rid of the competition. And so this keeps on going and going. I Love Comics calls him out, and he says, "Wonder who this is about," and then has the tweet on there, and he says, "Right now, YouTube's terrible reporting system." Okay, that's a very vague way of saying you caught me, but I'm going to act objective. And this just keeps on going and going. He says, "I'm not even angry anymore. I just pity them." That's the classic case of you trying to act high and mighty when really you were being very vindictive and hateful towards somebody. What empty, shallow lies they all must lead, that all they can do with them is spending hours doing whatever. And I'm just like, oh my God, dude, really? So one of Bleeding Cool's writers is now the target of specific target harassment and more from Myers and his cronies. So he's naming the guy. He's naming Diversity in Comics. I mean, this is getting pathetic. If you see any of these tweets from this guy and he's doing any kind of hateful things on Twitter, report him. Okay, if he hasn't already blocked you, report him. Because this right here has got to stop. He cannot be going on here and trying to shut down people's Twitters and people's YouTubes because he doesn't like what they say. And if you haven't seen the rest of his tweets, he's on there talking to Jude Terror about trying to get DNC's Patreon shut down now. But the very picture that he shows about Patreon's terms and conditions is the very one that the comic pros are breaking, and therefore they shouldn't have a Patreon. I mean, it's just this kind of silly stuff. And then he goes on to now he's trying to call out Chuck Dixon, one of the greatest writers in DC history. He has a retweet here where someone is trying to kickstart a comic book. It's very obvious the style that they have for the comic book. And he says, Chuck Dixon, ever the class act. Also, on average, these people have backed just shy of $90 each. For this, what? Why the actual F, eh? And this gets so tiring. These people have no morals. They think it's okay just to throw F-bombs here and there just to emphasize that they're being serious. Why can't you use your words? Just use your words. You don't have to sit here and throw F-bombs left and right just to seem morally higher than someone else. Really, it just makes you seem trashy. But anyway, he has a screenshot there of Chuck Dixon donating $150. Are you trying to tell me that Chuck Dixon can't do what he wants with money he earned? You're obviously trying to do something on Twitter using someone else's name, Bleeding Cool, for credibility. And yet Chuck Dixon can't use his own money to give to somebody for a Kickstarter. Seems a little bit hypocritical to me. And then he's talking about something here. He's got, see if I can get it pulled up. He says there's too much negativity about comics at the moment and some pretty appalling crap out there. So I wanted to spread something that's positive of that. And the guy says, how? And it's another one of the Bleeding Cool idiots. He says, by spreading the word of a book that is the complete opposite and showing that you can make books respecting others. And my first question is, who are you trying to respect? Okay? You're obviously not trying to respect the regular fan base because you constantly call them out and call them hateful people when you're just being hateful yourself. Okay? So what you're trying to say is you're trying to hold someone else to a higher standard than other people. You're not trying to get respect for these people. You're trying to put these people on a pedestal and let them be better than anyone else because regular people are not okay. We have to help these special people. We can't help the regular fan base. Yeah. You need to go ahead and hush your mouth. Okay? But my point is, Captain Cummings has already done a video on this guy, but I'm just trying to reiterate what he's saying, trying to get the word out, because these people need to know that this is not okay, and the people that they work for need to know that they're running around doing this kind of stuff. And the people that I'm talking about is Avatar Press. That's who owns Bleeding Cool. And if you look at the picture there, it's Avatar Press's homepage, and So I just want you to look at the website here, and I don't know how they got a picture of Mags Visaggio to put on their homepage, but I mean it looks very accurate, very likely to me, a nice likeliness. But I'm just kidding, or am I? But anyway, then the next page here, you will notice that they own Boundless Comics, whatever that is, and Bleeding Cool. Avatar Press, do you know what your Bleeding Cool reporters are doing? Do you know that they're getting on here and harassing, targeted harassment on Twitter, and then they're trying to get people shut down on YouTube and get their Patreon shut down? Doesn't seem like a journalist to me. Seems like a harasser using Bleeding Cool as a crutch. So here's the number for Avatar Press. If you would, please give them a call. Give them a call. Ask them why they're letting people like Joe Glass and Jude Terror do this kind of stuff on Twitter and YouTube and Patreon, and how they're not reining them in when Avatar is known for being a very pro free speech website and news outlet. You know, let's get the word out here. Let's let people know what's going on. But that's all I got to say about this trash. Let me know what you think. Get the word out and let people know that this is not okay. Targeted harassment is not going to work. And we're going to use the rules against them because they want to use Twitter and YouTube's rules against us, and they don't really understand what the rules are. So therefore, they're breaking the rules right now. And we're going to let Twitter know what's going on because eventually they will be pressed to have to do something. If you've got 5 or 6, 10, 15 of these situations that come up with the same person, they're not going to be able to ignore it. But all right, guys, hit the like button, hit the notifications button. Let me know what you think about this situation, how crazy and out of hand this has gotten, when all Diversity in Comics wants to do is talk about comic books. But have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.